Most first home buyers walk into an open home and focus on the kitchen, the staging, and whether the couch will fit in the lounge. But after years in real estate and a much earlier background in the electrical industry and hands-on renovation, there are things I immediately check that buyers often miss. And some of them could cost you thousands. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 10 practical things smart buyers should check at an open home before getting emotionally attached. Because the goal isn't to find a perfect home, it's to understand what's normal maintenance, what's fixable, and what might be a serious problem. So before we jump in, it's important to say this. Unless you're buying a brand new home, and even they're not always perfect, every property has history. That's completely normal. No home is flawless, and regardless of how good a property looks, I always recommend getting a building inspection report. If you're buying by negotiation, make it a condition of purchase. And if it's going to auction, you'll likely need that inspection done before auction day because you'll be bidding unconditionally. And remember, finding issues doesn't automatically mean walk away. Sometimes it simply helps you understand what needs fixing, what can wait, and whether there's an opportunity to negotiate. One mistake I often see first home buyers make is ruling out a property because it feels like there's too much work to do. Sometimes that's absolutely fair, but often what looks overwhelming is really just maintenance, paint, or improvements that could happen over time. A good building inspector helps you understand the difference between a genuine problem and a manageable project. Right, let's dig in. So before you even walk through the front door, take notice of the exterior. The outside of the property often gives you clues about how well it's been maintained. Things like peeling paint, cracked concrete paths, leaning fences, tired gardens, rusty letterboxes, blocked gutters or damaged downpipes. None of these things automatically mean disaster, but together they can start painting a picture. And remember, deferred maintenance often compounds over time. If simple jobs haven't been done, you naturally start wondering what bigger maintenance may have been delayed as well. Take a quick look around the outside of the home. If it's timber weatherboards, look for flaking paint, split boards, signs of rot around windows. Pay attention to gardens hard up against timber cladding too. You generally don't want soil sitting against timber. If it's brick, check for cracks or missing mortar between bricks. Now don't panic. Small cracks can simply be age or movement. But if cracks are large, deep, or stepped through brickwork, that's something worth asking your building inspector to look at more closely. Point 3. I'm going to talk about sun, layout and everyday living. So once inside, don't just admire the kitchen. Think about how the home actually works for your life. How does the layout flow? Where does the sun come from? Is there enough natural light? Everyone's needs are different. Maybe you work from home. Maybe you love entertaining. Or maybe you appreciate not finding sun glare on the TV during daytime sports or Netflix. You're buying a lifestyle as much as a property. Number 4. You see cracks on walls and ceilings. Should you worry? This one scares buyers unnecessarily. Small hairline cracks on walls and ceilings are incredibly common. Often they're simply where jib plasterboard joints have moved slightly over time. Houses expand and contract with seasons, temperature and movement. That's normal. But if cracks are wide, uneven, doors aren't closing properly, or things feel out of level, well, that deserves more investigation. Your building inspector can help separate cosmetic issues from structural concerns. 5. Smell the house. This sounds strange, but trust me. Use your nose. Does the home smell damp? Musty? Mouldy? Moisture is one of the biggest things buyers miss. Look for signs like condensation on windows, swollen timber windowsills, mould spots, peeling paint around windows or ranch sliders. Now here's the good news. A lot of moisture issues are actually fixable. Sometimes it's poor ventilation, tenants not opening windows, or old seals around windows. Homes need airflow. Ironically, even newer homes often need ventilation systems because they're sealed so tightly now. Another quick trick, lightly run your hand across painted walls around windows or ranch sliders. If surfaces feel swollen or uneven, that may indicate poor or prior moisture damage and something worth asking about. Point 6, bathrooms. Small leaks became big bills. Bathrooms deserve extra attention. Look around shower corners, bases of shower liners, around toilets, under vanities, around sinks. Leaks can happen slowly and go unnoticed for years. Most are repairable, but it's something you absolutely want checked before purchase. And if something catches your eye at an open home, tell your building inspector. Point it out. That's what they're there for. 7. I want to give you a real example where moisture doesn't always mean disaster. I recently sold a brick home where a building inspection picked up elevated moisture readings around aluminium windows, more importantly at the bottom of the walls below the windows. Naturally, everyone got worried. Further investigation was done, including inspection holes that were cut into the walls. The result? No structural damage of timber at all. The issue turned out to be old, perished window seals and one small gap in the exterior. A piece of brick was missing. The fix? Reseal the windows, replace the brick, allow things to dry out, and then it was retested. Problem solved. The lesson? When issues are found, think cause and effect. How did it happen? Is it still happening? And what's required to fix it? Not every issue is a horror story. 8. A classic electric switchboard. Now this is one I always check. If the switchboard looks ancient and still has those old porcelain rewirable fuses, it may be time for an upgrade. The good news? In most cases you can simply replace the switchboard without rewiring the entire house. And while you're there, check whether there are enough power points for modern living. Older homes often weren't designed for today's technology demands. If you have an electrician there, it'd be great to get them to install that extra power point. 9. Hot water cylinder age. This one often gets overlooked. If the property has a hot water cylinder, try to get an idea of its age. When I renovated my own home, it still had the original cylinder from around 1970. It was somehow still working, but I wasn't keen to test my luck. Generally speaking, somewhere between 20 to 30 years may be a reasonable time to consider replacement, depending on its quality, water conditions, and wear. Not urgent necessarily, but good to budget for. 10. Check the street, not just the house. Check the neighbourhood. Visit the street at different times. Drive past during the evening. Try a weekend. Walk the area. Listen for traffic noise. Get a feel for the vibe. And if road noise is an issue, here's a tip. Check the windows. Old aluminium or timber joinery can often be upgraded to modern double glazing in the future. Improves warmth and comfort, and it reduces noise. So there we have it. It's not an exhaustive list, but hopefully a practical way to look at an open home differently. Remember, don't confuse maintenance with a money pit. Almost every property will need something over time. The key is understanding the difference between major structural concerns, expensive hidden problems, and everyday maintenance items that simply come with home ownership. And that's exactly why a good building inspection matters, because sometimes the right home isn't the perfect home. It's the one where you understand the issues, you budget for improvements, and make a smart long-term decision. And one final reminder, buying a home isn't just about building quality or maintenance items, it also has to feel right for how you live. We all value different things. For some people, location is everything. For others, it's outdoor space, school zones, sunshine, a home office, or room for family. Sometimes compromise is part of the process too. Maybe the kitchen is smaller than you hoped, but the location is fantastic. Maybe the bathroom is dated, but the layout and backyard are perfect for your future plans. Unless you're designing and building your dream home from scratch, there will usually be trade-offs somewhere. The key is making sure that things you compromise on are things you can genuinely live with, while still buying a property that feels right for your long term. If you found this helpful, check out other videos in the channel where we cover practical New Zealand home buying advice without the jargon. Thanks for watching.